Okay. That was a struggle, but we did it. Okay. Casta. I don't know what's going on with my internet speed. It used to be 300. Zolotech new video. Oh, Zolotech new video. This one? Or is it a tweet from him? Oh, is it that one?
Go back into software update and you should see it there. Now iOS 20. Hi everyone, Aaron here for Zolotech, and today Apple released iOS 26 to the
That's
public.
a long video,
iOS
bro.
26 is available around the world at the same time for everyone on all iOS 26 supported devices. Unfortunately, this year Apple has dropped support for the iPhone XR, XS, and XS Max. Now this particular update can be found by going into your settings, going down to General, and then Software Update. If you're not seeing the update, just go back into Software Update, and you should see it there. Now, iOS 26 contains hundreds and hundreds of new features and changes. I've linked all of the different changes in the description below, so you can just jump to the chapter you'd like to see. So let's go ahead and take a look at what's new. Liquid Glass is Apple's new design language for iOS 26 in the future. You can see it in things such as the folder. As I move to the second page, you can see refractions as well as reflections, and it's sort of adapting to its environment behind. You'll see this in places such as the dock, where it's sort of a glass or translucent dock, and as I move the phone, it responds to my movements, reflecting around the icons themselves. So you can see that all throughout as I move this. You'll see different animations throughout as well. So if I lock the phone and then swipe up without using Face ID, you'll see that we have sort of a bounce effect again with Liquid Glass. If I cancel that and show you again, things just sort of bounce into place. Then I'll swipe up again and go home. They've removed things such as the little home bar icon here at the bottom. We now know how to use it, swipe home, so they've gotten rid of that line that was down here. So it adapts to the environment, and we have a lot of new options as well for customization. You may already see some here where we can have clear icons, we can have light mode icons, as well as dark mode icons as well, and some that even adapt to cases. So let me show you how that works. If we press and hold on the home screen, tap on Edit, you'll see again more animations and new design. If we go to Customize, you'll see that we have dark, we have clear, and then we have tinted. If we want clear, we can even customize if we want light or dark mode or auto. The same is true with all of the different icons throughout. So we can lighten the background, but if we go to tinted, it will then try to match your environment or
That's a
what you
long
have set
video.
as a wallpaper. Or if we go to this icon, it will then match the
Are you gonna watch all of it? Are you gonna watch? I think everything that he's saying is like, I mean, but it's gonna be
case that you've attached to it. For example, I have a case here from Apple, and since it knows what it is as far as a black case, it's an Apple silicone case. If we go ahead and connect it here or attach it, it should recognize it. You'll see it recognized it like that. We'll swipe up, and now it's tinted with black icons. So
yeah.
black translucent tinted icons. And again, this will match any case you have. All of this is a customizable option, of course, and you can change it to whatever you prefer. But you have lots of different options this time around.
One
If you
hour.
don't like this glass look, you can actually turn it off in accessibility. If you go into your settings, go to accessibility, then under display and text size, go to reduce transparency, and you'll see here that it gets rid of much of that glass look for things such as folders, making it easier to see if you need better contrast. So again, that's something you can turn on and off, and you can notice the glass switches throughout the menu, and things like this all have been redone throughout the OS. So again, you can fully customize it however you would like. And you'll see new animations with menus throughout. So if we press and hold on maybe an icon, things bounce out. And again, lots of changes throughout, and we'll be exploring more of that as we go through different apps. If we go into the control center, you'll notice some differences here as well. Again, it has sort of a bouncy effect as we swipe up and down, and sort of a glass or translucent effect as well. We have new submenus in the control center, so if we go in here, you can see some new submenus. Tap on maybe my Wi-Fi, you'll see some other options. The same is true for AirDrop. Lots of different changes throughout when you go into the control center. And then of course you can see Wi-Fi, press and hold, you get the same thing. If we swipe home, we'll go into music, and we'll come back to that in just a moment. But if maybe we start some music here, we also have a new design for that in the control center as well. So lots of things with liquid glass, and you'll see what they look like here. So again, lots to explore, but again, we'll go through all the different apps in just a moment. Now, one thing you may have already noticed is we have a bunch of new icons. We have a new camera app icon, we have a new photos icon, as well as changes to the podcast icon, mail. They have more depth this time around, getting away from that flat design that was introduced with iOS 7. You'll see we have a new Find My icon, we have more depth with Home and Maps, and if we scroll over, we even have a couple new apps we'll come back to in a little bit. We have Games and Preview. So lots of changes throughout to the overall design, and of course, as you're using it, you'll explore different changes. You'll see them yourself as well. Now we have some new ringtones that Apple has added finally. So if we go into our settings, go down to Sound and Haptics, then you'll see our ringtone and alerts, and then we have ringtone. If we go into ringtone, you'll see that we have some new ringtones here that say reflection. If we go into reflection, we have a bunch of different options. So let me go ahead and turn the volume up here so you can hear them. Here's the default option. Here's buoyant. Here's dreamer. This is my favorite. If we go into pond, this is next. Pop, reflected, surge, and we also have another new one down here called Little Bird. And wait for it. So those are all new ringtones that are included, and you can even add ringtones a lot easier this time around. So there's an option to do that. So maybe you have a file you've installed to your phone, you've downloaded it to the Files app. Again, there's some updates to that app itself, but let's just go to one of the files. You'll see I search for MP3 in Files. If I press and hold, go to Share, under Share, go to More, we now have the option to use as ringtone. As long as the file is under 30 seconds long, you can use it as your ringtone. So this one's a little bit over and it's telling us that, so you would have to modify it. But if you have a sound file that's under 30 seconds, you can easily set it as your ringtone now and just use that. Again, if we go back to settings, we'll go back to sound and haptics. And if we scroll down, we have a new option here. You'll see here it says reduce loud sounds. It used to be called something else in earlier versions of this, such as late night mode, but it actually reduces audio volume range and creates softer sound effects while maintaining the quiet details of the original audio. So that's something that's new. And also, if maybe you're using AirPods, you can record high quality audio and select your AirPods and other things as your microphone. You can see the input here says iPhone microphone. If maybe we connect AirPods, we should have the option for that as well. Give it just a second to connect. And if we go in, you'll see now we have the option to use these as a microphone directly in Sound and Haptics. So that's a nice little update there. We also have some new wallpaper that goes along with this update, and we can find that either by going into your settings, or we can just go to the lock screen and add wallpaper. So on the lock screen in wallpaper, we press and hold. Again, we'll see more of that liquid glass design here. And as we swipe between different wallpaper, you can see that reflected under customize. But if we go in and maybe add a new one here, we have an all new screen with photos, photo shuffle, emoji, color, astronomy, and weather. And you can see some photos here that it's suggesting where it's moving the backgrounds. If we scroll down, you'll see we have the new iOS 26 wallpaper, and if we go into it, we have different options, of course, such as dusk, halo, sky, shadow, and then dynamic, where it rotates through the different wallpaper, both light and dark mode. So some really nice options here, as well as another new option if we go into our wallpaper that we already have set. So within the wallpaper, you'll see some new options here. We have a new option right here called Spatial Scene. It generates a spatial scene that creates movement throughout, so you can sort of look around it, giving it sort of a parallax effect, but also the appearance of depth. We also have some customization here where it will recognize the background. So you'll see if I turn off the spatial scene, it jumps behind with the actual lettering or numbering of the time, and we can customize this further. So we have the option, of course, to shrink this down. We don't have to use it at all, but we can go back and forth, change it to whatever we'd like, shrink it down. Now, if we go back to the one I was using, you can see it has a unique look to it, of course. Some of the liquid glass is reflecting through. And if we customize, again, I have my new widgets down at the bottom. We can scroll these up to the top and it shrinks the time, bring them back down, and it expands it back out. So lots of different customization here. Spatial scenes, again, don't work as well with things that are sort of a photo, but they do work well with things such as maybe a landscape or something where it actually has depth. Of course, you can extend the wallpaper, and those are the changes for the lock screen. Now, when you have the lock screen set, you have some really nice updates as far as the music and widgets. So here's some notifications. You can see they have liquid glass. They look really good. And if we scroll home, let's again turn down the volume. We'll press play on this music here. Go to the lock screen, and you'll see that I have my music, again with a liquid glass design. If we tap on album art, if there is full screen album art or it's animated, it fully fills the display this time. So it has this really nice look to it where it fills in the display, looks a little bit different or unique, and then you can shrink it back down and everything goes back with your widget. So again, you can just switch back and forth. And then, of course, we have our notifications underneath, and then we can just clear all of them if we'd like. So some really nice changes here as far as the way it looks on the lock screen. Now, if we go into music, you'll see that, again, we have that liquid glass design, and it's dynamic based on your background. So if we switch to light mode, you can see it here where it switches and adapts to what's behind it. So as we scroll down, we have additional menu options, or it sort of goes into a compact mode as well. If we go back into dark mode here, you'll see that we have new buttons where it says Home, New, Radio, and Library, and then we can slide across and there's this new liquid design again. So lots of changes throughout, whereas you highlight things, it changes overall. Now, some nice new updates here is that we can pin different things. So if we go into maybe our library, you'll see that we have pinned artists. We can pin folders or songs or whatever we'd like. So if we press and hold, let's unpin this album, and maybe this time around we'll go into an album. Again, you can pick an album or songs or whatever you'd like, and we'll just go down and find something to pin. You'll just press and hold, and then you can pin it on the display. So we'll go down here, keep going. How about this one? Press and hold. Then we can pin this here. So you'll see it says pin album. And if we go back to library, it's now at the top. So it's a nice way to get to your favorites and quickly select those and then play them directly from here. Now, if we go into our playlists from here, one thing we can create is playlist folders here. So we can create a new playlist folder. So how about iOS 26? We'll tap create. We can create the folder and then add music to it and completely sort it, add new playlists, or whatever we'd like. So again, we have options for all sorts of things. So let's go ahead and add maybe a new playlist and new iOS 26 playlist. And then we can add songs within this playlist. So there's some suggested here. So we have this one. How about this one? Maybe this one, and you get the idea. Of course, you can sort it, and now we have a folder called iOS 26 with a playlist in it. So some great updates where we couldn't do that before on device. We would typically have to do that on our computer. Now, if you're playing a song that maybe is in a different language than your own, you'll now have a translation option if it's in a fairly common language, such as Spanish. So it depends on the device, but if we tap the lyrics option, we now have a new icon here, and you'll see that it says hide translation or show original. Now, because I speak English, I don't have the phone set to Spanish, it's going to show me the option for translation. So we can hide the translation, you'll see it disappeared, show the translation, and as I play the song, it also gives pronunciation as well. But you can see this here, where as we scroll through, you can see all of the different translation here, so you can understand what's being said. So that's something that's new in iOS 26. Within our music options, if we scroll down, you'll see that we have a new option under larger text for pronunciation. It says choose whether lyrics or pronunciation is shown larger when both appear. If we go into this, we can have it just show the lyrics or the pronunciation. We also have a new option here for auto mix. It's sort of a way to blend different styles of music together or just a playlist together as though a DJ was doing it. It doesn't always work really great. Sometimes it is great though, but it cuts the song short as it starts to blend them. So you'll see you can crossfade like normal. You can turn it off if you just want it to cut to the next song, or you can use auto mix where the song transitions at the perfect moment based on an analysis of the key and tempo of the music. So you'll start to hear this maybe speed up to join the next song, to have the same tempo and sort of flow into that song. Typically, I do like the way it works, but sometimes it's a bit odd. So try that out if you haven't tried it already, maybe in the earlier betas, and see what you think of it. Now back within music, if maybe we go out of this one, we'll go back home here. And back home, if we scroll way down, we have Apple Music Replay. Replay is now on device instead of needing a web page to sort of give you that information. So you have Replay all the time, Replay 2025, 24, and all the previous years. But again, now it's directly on the device, so you can see it all the time. So if you go into it, it's going to sort of show you all the information about it, top songs, top albums, milestones, and things like that. So again, it's on device now. Under new, everything has sort of a new look to it, and we have some new widgets to go along with radio and some other things as well. So if maybe we go to a page here that has some extra space, go to Edit, go to Add Widgets. Within Music, if we scroll over, you'll see a new option for pins. So whatever we've pinned within the Music app itself, we've got two different options here, as well as live radio. So you have those available as widgets as well if you'd like to use those. So if we want to add that, we now have a new widget for it if we'd like to use it. Now music within Apple CarPlay looks completely different, as does CarPlay itself. So let's go ahead and take a look. This is the new Apple CarPlay.
Okay,
You'll
buddy.
see it connected. It thinks I'm going to leave and says, would you like to open Google Maps, since that's what I've been using regularly. We have a new
Oh, he
option
has a
here, or the new
Porsche.
design here that goes along with Liquid Glass. You can see the different icons, the new updated icons for podcasts and everything else. Of course, we have different options for overall wallpaper and appearance. So if we go down to wallpaper, you'll see we have the new iOS 26 wallpaper, and we have a bunch of different variants. So we have red, black, we have a purple, sort of a tan or beige color, another variant that has a little more green in it, as well as iOS 26. So you can also choose black, sort of a gray, and then again another tan color. Under display, if we go here, you'll see we have Smart Display Zoom, where CarPlay will be automatically optimized for your vehicle's display. So we have that liquid glass design there as well, and then Show Album Art in Now Playing. If we go back, of course, we have more customization here. So we can go to the appearance and you'll see always dark or automatic, and then always show dark maps. Then if we go to customize icons, this is where Liquid Glass comes in. We can use the dark icons and we can use the clear icons as well. While I kind of like the look of this, the clear icons are definitely more difficult to pick out different applications. So typically I use the dark mode icons, or you can leave it to auto depending on time of day. If we go back here, we also have different focus modes and everything else, of course. And of course, we have multiple pages here, but if we swipe the other direction this time, we can go in and you'll see maybe our maps from Google Maps. Of course, we have things such as Go or Voice, as well as our music. But if we swipe one more time, you'll
Yeah,
see that we now have widgets. We can now configure these widgets, whether
I
we want the date.
I don't think I'm going to be upgrading because I have 15 Pro Max right now, but maybe I will upgrade after all those durability tests and different tests, But I'll probably go for the iPhone 17 Pro Max.
For time, calendar events, as well as photos here as well. We can scroll through the different widgets, and we have the same thing on the right hand side, so we can control things such as our home displays or things like that. So you can see we have different options here for widgets if you want that to be what's on your display most of the time. Now, if we go back over into settings, we have additional options, but now that we have a message coming in, let's tap on it.
Zach said hello. Would you like to reply?
We now have the option for tap back, so we can respond with a tap back. We have the heart, thumbs up, thumbs down, ha ha, exclamation point, or question mark. So now it responds with a tap back. And in appearance here, we have some more options, more for accessibility this time. So within accessibility, we have options for text size. So we can change it from default all the way up to 135%. So if we want everything to have a little bit larger text, we can do that, or we can just set it to default, whatever works best for us based on our vision needs.
Yeah, also the
We also have
optimization
more
too.
information at a
You're right.
glance now. So if we
You're
go
right
back
about that.
home, you'll see maybe we'll go into an app such as music. Music looks completely different now. So if we go back home, we have some of our favorites on the top, pinned from what's in our music app, but now we have playlists, artists, albums, songs downloaded, recently added. We can keep scrolling and you'll see the options here are the albums. Of course, if we go home, you'll see the options here. Give it a second to load, and we have recently played. We have top picks for you, as well as some things I've been listening to, and more. So you can keep scrolling all the way down to your replay music. Under new, again, it's the new tab. You'll notice the liquid glass here on the top, so new releases, everything else. And the same is true with radio. So some nice redesign here where you can see what it looks like. Again, if we go back home, we have a similar redesign in podcasts. Podcast gets the same sort of update. So we have up next, and then we have recently played. If we go to new, you'll see all of your new podcasts as well as some things that are featured here. And then if we go to library, give it a second to load. We have recently updated, and then we have downloaded latest episodes, saved, and shows. So really nice, very easy to touch since they're large touch points, and it makes it much better. Now also, CarPlay apps that stream audio, for example, for things such as live sports and events, can now show a scoreboard for the game on the screen as the game is going on. I don't really watch any sports or listen to sports, but if you have that option, you'll get sort of a live activity for that on your display. If we go into Maps, it looks a little bit different as well. So you'll see Maps, again, has that liquid glass redesign, and if we scroll down, you can see different things such as maybe Apple South Park that's nearby. If we go into that, of course, we can suggest or select the route that it's suggesting.
Starting route to Apple South Park.
And while we're on one of those routes, if we scroll up here, we can report different things. So for example, we have some options for crash, speed check, traffic, roadwork, hazard, and road closure. So some nice updates here, definitely a redesign as far as visually. It does make it a little bit easier to use as well. And you'll find that redesign all throughout with everything around the sides, things from phone, it has liquid glass, as well as maybe calendar here. So you'll see no events today, but again, it has that new design, and anytime I
Yeah.
see the old design, it feels very old. You'll see a call is coming in, so if I hit accept, now it's taking up just the bottom of the display instead of everything else. Another thing is this should support pinch to zoom soon for maps. Now, it does support it natively in this car, so if your car supports it, it should in theory work. This will work
I
with
think it's
Android
gonna
Auto
work
and
this
the
time.
native navigation, so CarPlay should work hopefully very
Didn't.
soon with that. But overall, I would love to see that updated and be much better as far as being able to use maybe pinch to zoom to go through the different maps and things. And finally, another thing that hopefully will be added soon is the ability to AirPlay content when you're parked on your display. So maybe you
What happened?
movie or a YouTube video. Maybe you have an electric car and you want to charge and maybe watch YouTube for 20 minutes or so while you're charging. That hopefully will be an option soon, but so far it's not working yet, at least for me. Another thing that could be very helpful for some is if we go into our settings, scroll down to accessibility. Within accessibility, scroll to the bottom, go to sound recognition. This is a new option when turned on that can help you recognize different sounds. Maybe you're hard of hearing and you have a child in the back seat. You can turn this on and it will intelligently use your iPhone to continuously listen to try to detect certain sounds while connected to CarPlay. So it says these sounds may not always be correctly identified, but it will recognize a car
like a drug, no rehab can fix it. I think you're perfect, baby, even with your flaws.
Also to go along with
You're
CarPlay,
what I
if we
like
go into our
about
settings
you, I
and then
love
we
it
scroll down here,
all.
under
What is
General,
happening?
then under Screen Capture, there's a new option to turn off CarPlay screenshots. So maybe you don't want your phone taking screenshots of Apple CarPlay, just turn it off and it won't any longer. Also, when it comes to screenshots themselves, you have HDR and SDR now. So if you don't want HDR screenshots, of course, don't turn them on, but it is now an option. So if you want super vibrant screenshots to match maybe your wallpaper, you have the option to enable that now. Just like Apple CarPlay, we have a redesigned Apple Podcasts app as well. If we go into podcasts, not only do we have a new icon, but we have the new liquid glass design. So you can see that here at the bottom with the all new menu where you can swipe between it if you'd like. Go to New, Library, and then of course Search. Go back to Home. You'll see the new design is kind of everywhere throughout the OS. So we have the new tab, which we didn't have before, with top shows, new shows, top series, top episodes, and more. So you'll see all of that here. And then if we go back home, of course, you have everything as far as up next. Now we have per show settings. So if we go into this show, maybe we'll go ahead and tap the three-dot menu here in the upper right. Of course, you'll see all of your different options. We'll go to the show and then go to the menu again. We now can go to settings. Within settings, if we scroll down, we can adjust the speed and audio per show. So it says customize for this show, and then you can adjust the playback speed or enhance the dialogue as well, specifically for that show and not others. So you can adjust it based on your show. Maybe someone speaks slowly. For this particular podcast, just turn it up a little bit and you can speed up the podcast. However, if maybe you're listening to a podcast, you can adjust it individually as well. We have the 1x here. Just simply swipe up or down on it, or if you tap on it, it expands, and then you have the same options we had for the customization. So we have 0.8, 1 times, 1.3 times, 1.6 times, 1.8, and then 2. Or you can use the custom show settings. So again, you can reset it to default, and now you're back to where you were before. While there's not a whole lot of other changes other than what we already have here, that is the new design for Apple Podcasts, and it's just sort of matching everything else. Now, of course, you've already noticed we have a new camera design. The camera app itself has a different icon that sort of matches the lens on the back of the phone. And if we go into it, it looks completely different. It behaves differently as well. So if we slide in a phone just to put something in the background, you'll see we only have two options now, photo and video. However, if we tap on them, we get additional options. So of course we have aspect. We can change that just by tapping on it. We have timer, styles, live, exposure, and flash. If we tap on the screen, it goes away. And then we have some new options at the top. So we can go directly in and change some of the options here. So maybe we want raw photos at 24 megapixels. We can change that. The same is true with maybe sharing an album or the library, and of course the flash and other options here. So this gives you the same option as though maybe you were just tapping on it down at the bottom. Again, we can go into video and we have the same sort of thing. So we can quickly access all of our settings here. So we have ProRes with log or HDR, 4K or HD, and our different frame rates. Again, same settings here. If we want to tap on it, we've got exposure and action, and we can swipe as well to get those different options such as slow motion, time lapse, cinematic mode, and we can just swipe through like this if we want to use those. So this is something that's definitely a little bit more simple. We can spin it around, of course, spin it back, and tap photos, and you'll see some styles here as well. We have a new style that's been added recently for bright. So if we go into mood, you'll see different things here for dramatic, quiet, cozy, ethereal, stark. So again, we'll go back and forth. luminous, vibrant, standard, amber, gold, rose gold, and bright. So bright is a new one, neutral, and cool rose, of course, fully adjustable to however you'd like. I typically just leave it on standard and adjust it after the fact though. So aside from the redesign itself, we also have some options to go along with that. So if we go to the camera options here, we'll go up to camera. Within camera, you'll see it's changed a little bit. Some of it is very familiar with record video and things like that. But if we scroll down, you'll see that we have some new options here at the bottom that say lens cleaning hints. It says displays a suggestion when the camera lens should be cleaned to improve the image quality. So this is something that you can turn on. If maybe your lens is dirty, you forgot to clean it, it will let you know that, hey, you probably want to clean that to get a better look. Also, if we scroll down within our photo options, you'll see under composition, we have new indicators for things such as flash, live photo, or action mode. And then if we continue to scroll down, you'll see another new option for messages to save captures to photo library. Automatically save captures taken in messages camera to the photo library. So that's something that's really nice, convenient if you want it to automatically save. Now, many people will be happy to hear that Photos has a redesign since last year's change where many people didn't like it. Within Photos, you'll see we now have a new design with library and collections. If we go into collections, this is sort of the customized version you had with iOS 18, but back in library is just our main setup like we had before. We have options in the upper right where we can sort by date captured, both libraries, of course your personal and shared libraries, and we also have filter options as well for things such as all of your items, favorites, edited photos, videos, screenshots shared with you and not in album. So some nice options there. Of course, we can search, and it works pretty well, searching between different things, and it suggests different information you could search for, or we can go back out. Here's a photo I took a couple weeks ago, and you'll see we have this new icon in the upper right. We now have the option to turn this into a spatial scene, just like things on the lock screen. It will analyze it, then turn it into a spatial screen, giving it more depth as you move your phone around. So it's a great way to experience a photo of a place you've been to. Within collections, if we switch over to that, we have customization where we can collapse different things if we don't want to see them. Maybe albums here, or maybe trips or media types. You can see those, and then we can collapse the menu itself. Of course, we can customize these as well, just like you do in previous versions, but now we have pinned where we have different things with suggestions and then any collection or album. So you can fully customize this however you'd like. But again, you only see this along with hidden, duplicates, handwriting, QR codes, documents, imports, recovered. You can customize that however you'd like this time around. In the upper right, we have the same sort of sort menus as before, where you can show all, collapse all, or reorder. And then we have different options for viewing it as well. Now, something else that we have that they've added that uses some intelligence has to do with maybe you were at a concert or maybe a sports game. It will give you relevant information. Within a photo, this is a photo I took back in July, you'll see there's a new icon down here that can recognize different information based on the place you took the photo, as well as different concerts or maybe sport venues. If we tap on it here, you'll see it says look up landmark or Mariners at Yankees. It actually recognizes the game that I attended, and if we tap on it here, it actually gives relevant information based on that game. So it takes a moment to load, and it shows the score, Mariners 5, Yankees 6, and then you can open it up in Apple Sports. It tells you when it was, where it was, and even shows you more information about upcoming events. So it's a really nice update to the Photos app, and hopefully they continue to add more things like this. So again, right now it's sporting events and typically concerts, but maybe we'll get some more things like this soon. Also within our Photos settings, down at the bottom, we have control for creating spatial photos. You can disable this if you don't want it to show up at all. So if that's something you don't want to see, you can just turn it off altogether. So we have my iOS 18 is out, what's new video. If we play it, scroll home, you can see the all new video player. It's translucent, has that glass design. You can of course move it around with picture in picture, from side to side, up or down, resize it. You can make it super small if you'd like. And then, of course, you can see your playhead there where you can see where you're at in the video itself. So some nice changes there.
I already downloaded the official version of iOS, iPadOS. Now I'm just waiting to do it on my Mac. Oh, it's here. Ha ha ha. I'm going to do it tonight. I'm gonna do it tonight. Now I'm struggling to do it on my watch. You cannot see my passport, can you? Is it showing better? Where? It's off, you see? So the beta update is off. And even on my, even on here too, it's off, you see? It's off. Yeah. I'm gonna try today. I'm gonna try workout body tonight. Workout body. I'm gonna take a walk outside.
Again, liquid glass throughout. Now with the battery, we get some updates. If we go into our settings, we'll go back here, go up to battery. Within battery, this is an all new screen. So you'll see here, it says 43%, last charged to 45% 11 minutes ago. Things that are using power, which isn't really new, but the battery graph is completely different. It says you're using more battery today than you usually do by 8:02 p.m. And you can see different things below. So we can view all battery usage, just go back, see our overall usage, and it's showing us how much we used on September 9th, for example. I used 112%. You can see the times I charged, and I had 4 hours and 50 minutes of screen active time. Now, I've run a lot of betas. Some of them weren't great, but this gives you an idea of how it works, how much battery you're using, and what's actually using that battery as well. So it's a much clearer view of what you're using as far as that goes.
Sure, but
Also, if we
also,
go under battery health, you'll see the information here with the manufacture date and first use. And then also you'll see power mode. Now, depending on your device, you may not have this, but we now have adaptive power. So we have
I'm on.
adaptive power and adaptive power notifications. So it will adapt, and it says when your phone's or your battery
Oh,
usage is higher than usual, iPhone can extend your battery life by making performance adjustments, such as lowering display brightness, allowing some activities to take longer, or turning on low power mode at
I never
20%.
installed
And then,
beta
of
on my
course, we have
watch.
low power mode as well. So this is all new as far as the battery. And one thing is when you get down to 20%, there's a nice new animation. And you can see that here when the battery on this phone dropped below
Damn, I
20%,
forgot
it
that we
says
were
tap to turn on low
doing
power
this.
mode. So I took a screenshot of it, and then you can hit the switch and turn it on. So that's something that's new, where it just sort of pops down and lets you know that maybe you want to turn that on. Now, also, we
How
get something
old
new as
are
well.
you,
Now, it's
if I
not
may
supported on
ask?
all phones, but when you're charging your phone, so let me grab a charger here. So when you're charging your phone, whether that's MagSafe or with a plugged-in charger, we'll go ahead and connect it. Of course, you'll see it start to charge. And if we lock the screen, unlock it, it will say 43% charged. Give it just a moment to calculate, and it will tell us how much time there is left to charge. So let's try that again. 43%, 46 minutes to 80%. We'll also see the same information in our battery settings, where it says charging 80% and then 2 hours to 100% as it slows the charge. So this is more information that we get. It's not available on all phones, but it is available on the latest couple of phones. Also, we have Qi 2 25-watt wireless charging. So if you maybe have one of the new Belkin chargers that supports this update,
Who reached
you'll
this,
now be
right?
able to charge at 25 watts wirelessly, and it will charge a little bit faster, especially on the new
Yeah,
iPhone
I'm
17
gonna do it.
models.
Like,
Within
I need to
Notes,
make
you'll
some
notice that we
videos for
have an
my
all-new
TikTok, so
keyboard. The keyboard
I'll
is
do
found
that
throughout
and then I'll
iOS
restart
26, and
my.
it's a little bit easier to see the
I
newer
mean,
design where
on
it's
night,
more rounded with light mode enabled. So that's something that's new, that's found all throughout.
so right now my device is pretty stable, so it's not like, I mean, I've had it for a while now, So yeah, I need to go and do it on Apple TV. I have it in my room, but yeah, m- my home pods are updating right now. See, let me take that out. Man, this internet is lagging off because it's this video, bro. You know what? We probably shouldn't be doing this video. It's too long. Um, no, I'm kidding. Oh, so it's just saying. My internet is bad. It's bad, bro. I think I need to use Stage Manager right now. Ooh. It's probably trash. Let me try to switch it. Damn, I shouldn't do it on cam, huh? It is probably trash, bro. Trash.